Hello. Hello. Hello, people on the internet. Good morning. I was up late last night. So I read this post the other day and explained how basically there are morning people, the whole thing with morning people and night owls, um, early birds and night owls, right? Is an actual evolutionary thing, right? It's not like laziness or whatever other people whatever corporations have written it off to be. It's an actual evolutionary biological thing where some people are wired to be awake at night and some people are wired to be awake in the morning, right? And the reason for that is we used to be, you know, primitives and not protected and hunted by large beasts, right? So you'd need some people to be awake at night so that they could watch the fort. We're literally hardwired to be night watchmen, right? And so that's me, Sentinel of the Dark. I was up till 4 in the morning. I'm a wee bit tired, but that's okay. And hello. Well, that's probably me. No, I'm not in. I'm not watching it. I'm just in the live portion. So I don't have a story for Storytime Sunday. There was no D&D last night. Forces conspired against a meeting of adults who have other obligations. So that's unfortunate. So I will be attempting to play a game today. There will be, hopefully, game. Instead of story. Yeah. But for some announcements. First, I'd like to, there are a couple people who followed, in the last couple of weeks. Excuse me, I had a burp. There's a couple people who followed in the last couple of weeks when I was doing mostly like reruns and playing with the Premiere broadcast thingy for my edited, annotated, self-indulgent bullshit. And I'd like to thank them. Holy crap! Why is that so small? Why are my eyes so awful? Debaxexy? No, Debaxacy. Thank you. Uh, Ikachu. Thank you. Illuminati 1975. Confirmed. And James Lavolo. Thank you all for, and Commander Root, who never says anything and I suspect is a bot. But whatever. Thank you. Thank you, bot. Potential bot. Suspected bot. Who can say? Anyway, thank you all for following. I appreciate it deeply. I'm not interesting, so, thanks. Uh, yeah. And then let's see. Oh, the completion of my gaming streaming monster draws near, ever nearer. Today, I had the video card and the power supply in their own separate boxes, and today they have become a part of my machine. So, my roommate, Rick, his sister's former lover, I guess, is a computer guy, and so he put in the processor and the motherboard and some RAM. But my schedule is fixed and his is not, or is fixed but in a different way, and so often we cannot, meet up. So, but Rick was like, well, I know another guy who is good with computers, and I was like, oh yeah? And he's like, yeah, Leo, and I was like, oh my god! Oh, I haven't heard that name in 13 years! Since high school, basically. He was a guy we went to high school with, and I was like, holy shit, Leo knows computers? Okay, yeah, call him. So he came over today, and that was cool. I hadn't seen him in for fucking ever, and so he put the power supply and the video card in my. So all I need now is to purchase and install the sound card and hard drives, which shouldn't be like a whole big deal. Um, I'll just have to keep saving and split my savings between Comic Con and my computer, which is another thing, another announcement. I will be going to Comic Con in 2019 because Critical Role is going to be there. Like, listen, I love Comic Con, but it's a lot of people, and I don't like crowds. And I went to my first Comic Con, I think, in 2011, and I enjoyed it, but like it's that situation where you look back and you pick a handful of memories, and those memories are really great, but they take place over like an 8-hour period, and everything else in there is shit because there's too many people, right? So it's like I went to the 2011, 2012, 2014, because in 2013 I moved to Texas, and I think my friends flew me back so that I could go to Comic Con in 2004. I know I went to the 2016 one because I had to quit working at C3 there because of some bullshit. But I went to a bunch of them, but every year, like, when the mention of Comic-Con comes, the next Comic-Con comes up, I'm like, yeah, but is it worth all of that, people? So my roommate, Catherine, was just like, hey, so, tickets for Comic-Con, they start sometime in the fall, and I'm gonna buy, at least Saturday and Sunday, because we both have Saturday and Sunday off. We have an actual nine to fiver. We have an actual 9 to 5 job where we're in that we have a fixed set of days off, and it's the fucking weekend. So now when people say, "Hey, have a nice weekend," it actually fucking means something. Like, people used to say that to me all the time as a cashier, and I was like, they're like, "Have a great weekend," and I'm like, "Thanks, I work tomorrow." You know? So yeah. But we're gonna get at least Saturday and Sunday. We're gonna go Saturday and Sunday, and I'm sitting here like, yeah, but I mean, like, traffic, finding parking, people. I really don't like people in general. They're like individuals. There are individuals that are cool, but people as a whole kind of suck. But and I was like, eh. And then I got an email from Emerald City Comic Con. Guess who's gonna be there? Saturday and Sunday. And I was like, we're going to Comic Con, and fuck it, we'll get a hotel. It's fine. Like, so yeah, and then I was like, well, obviously, like, you don't have to dress up for Comic Con. It's not required. It's just more fun that way, you know. And so I mean, for the last couple of years, for the last couple of Comic Cons, uh, one second. That was my alarm. For the last couple of Comic Cons, mostly I went as Black Canary. I have a black um, unitard. I don't know what you. I don't know what you would call it. Anyway, I got a black body thing, and then I've got blue tights. I got fishnets to go over it. I got boots. I got a bitchin' leather jacket, and I have a wig. 'Cause she's blonde. And everybody who knows who Black Canary is, which is far too few people, they all dig it, so that's nice. And then I went as like a human Rainbow Dash. Well, obviously, I went as like a punky Rainbow Dash for 1 year, and then for one Comic Con, and then I went as a character of my own creation that nobody really recognized because she's not on. That's not like but it doesn't matter. It was deeply satisfying to me, and and that so that yeah. And I met a couple actors that I really like. I got to shake I got to shake Christopher Judge's hand, and I made an awkward noise because I'm a deeply awkward human being. And you know, so that yeah. But then I was like, well, if I'm gonna go, then I want to dress up. Well, who do I dress up as? I've done Black Canary. I've done Black Canary like 5 times, you know, and I want to do something else. And I was like, well, I mean, you've got 6 months. You could give that one cosplay you've been wanting to do for a while a shot. The thing about it is that the cosplay that I want to do, and it'd be perfect because Liam O'Brien will be there. The costume that I want to do is War from Darksiders. That's a complicated piece. Um, I don't really have a place. This is a this where I live. It's 1,200 square feet, and there's not a garage. You know, there's not really a place where I can do cosplay armor. Space is at a premium, and we don't. And there are cats, so the cats will get into everything. And some of the stuff that you use to make cosplay armor can be quite dangerous, and stuff. So I don't want to like endanger animals and everything. That's not cool. But I really, really, really want to. It's also quite expensive. And I don't want to, like, everybody does, like, 'cause War's a bulky guy. And I, you may have noticed, am not. Thank you, phone. But I would want to do it proportionally to me. So it would be War's armor, but it would fit my body. And so the gauntlet would not be nearly as, it would just be, off my... It's a thing that I want to do. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to give it a go. It requires, things. So if I do get that going, possibly that is what I will be streaming for the next couple of months on the weekends. Not at night. No. It's an involved process. If I'm going to start it, I'm going to want to spend a chunk of time doing it. I'll be like Bjorn's Workshop, which I host occasionally on this channel. You may have noticed. Anyway, so but I don't have that for today, and I don't have a D&D story, and I think that's all the things that I wanted to talk about. Oh, I told my coworkers at work that I was gonna get obnoxious because I was super excited. Like, it was funny because on Thursday when I found out that Critical Role was going to be at Emerald City Comic Con in 2019, I told my customers, I went to work excited, and I was excited when I got off work, and it was funny because like during the pre-shift meeting before we go and do the stuff that we do, which is just taking stuff out of totes and putting stuff on shelves. I told, Bill was just like, hey, expect a 9-hour night, which is, like an hour of overtime or whatever. Right? No, we got out of there at like 10. We got out of there at 11. Yeah. We got out of there on time because I was so fucking excited that I did like 4 cartfuls of stuff in 2 hours, which is an accomplishment. None of you know what that means. None of you have any context for that sort of, nobody's out there going, wow. Unless maybe you work at O'Reilly's distribution center in the stocking department on returns or whatever. Then you're just like, oh, damn. But yeah. So, yeah. So, the game that I was given is called Transistors, which you may have noticed is in the game section here applied. And I'm gonna give that a go. I have never played it before, and I haven't even started it. So I'm gonna have to like as soon as I hit go on it, I'm gonna have to go into my OBS and be like, hey, select that screen. Or I could just hold on a second. I gotta what is it? Oh, it's over here. Shit. Okay. Well, in a minute, because I'm gonna switch views here in a second. Let's just go over here, and we're gonna put this down a little bit so it's not over everything. There we go. Okay, and I'm gonna go here. Let's do any full screen application. There we go. Because nothing right here is full screen right now, so yay. Okie dokie. So Oh yeah, you'd see that donation thingy at the bottom. You feel free to ignore that. You like I was just gonna put a donation thingy down there in case people felt like donating, but there's not like a thing where you can. Streamlabs doesn't have like, you know how timers have like a stopwatch and then like an actual timer. Streamlabs doesn't have a stopwatch function. They only have a timing function, right? So they only have like, here's the goal. You know, they don't have like, oh, here's how much money you've been donated. They don't have that. So I just put that down there at the bottom and I put Comic Con on it because I thought it was like, oh, Comic Con. Yeah, but feel free to ignore it if you aren't interested. And, okay, so I forgot what I was doing. Let's. Oh, well, shit. Hold on one second. Next. Or we're gonna talk for a little bit because I forgot to install it. Yeah. Oh, well, shit. Hold on. It's going pretty fast. No, it's slow down. Okay, so yeah. So oh, is it done? Oh shit. Okay. Uh, play. Preparing to what? Oh, preparing to launch. Okay. It's preparing to launch. I was at the I was at the Winco the other day and I saw this thing and I was just like, pumpkin spice what? And I thought it was a creamer. And I just bought it because I have no self-control. Well, I have some because otherwise I would have spent that $1,100 that's in my savings right now, which is for getting a new place. Um, but really, I have embraced my basic white girl. I love pumpkin spice everything. So I bought it, and then it turned out that it was not actually a creamer. It was just straight up pre-made pumpkin spice coffee. I'm not disappointed, but it wasn't what I thought it was. But anyway, 'tis the season for skull-shaped glasses. It's almost October. It's almost Halloween. That's the name of the month now. I was watching comedy shows before bed, and I was just like, my brain was like, you could do that, and then I had to break it to my brain, that no, no, we can never be a comedian. Um, there's one thing that you need, in order to be a comedian, and everybody thinks it's, oh, you have to be funny. No, that's not actually it. No, you have to be interesting. Um, yeah, you can be funny and tell and if you're funny and not interesting, it doesn't matter how funny the joke is, really, because if you're not interesting, then everyone's gonna be like, It's a situation where if you've ever told a joke and people have not laughed, and then somebody else has told the same joke and got uproarious laughter, and the joke is the same level of funny, it's because you're not interesting. And so, yeah, I can never be a comedian because I know, about myself. I've come to terms. I'm not interesting. I know interesting people, but I myself am not interesting. So, I'm a rather listen. I'm vanilla, and everybody else is like the flavors added to me to make an actual flavor. I love vanilla, by the way. Like I said, basic white girl. Vanilla bean, that's the shit. This is taking a really long time to launch. Oh dear. I have not been paying one iota of attention. Oh, there's nothing in the chat. Okay. Oh. But what is this? There's nothing in the queue. There's nothing in the queue. You stop that now. Okay. Um. Yes. Oh boy. Well, let's take it over to here for a second. Let's just make me bigger so that you can look at my reflection off my glasses. I started cross stitching again. Um, I have so many interests and so little time to pursue them all, and that annoys me. Like I wish that religious politicians would get the fuck over themselves so that I can clone myself already. That way I can get all of the things that I want to accomplish done. Unfortunately, there would have to be at least 3 of me just to work to support us all. Uh, we'd all have to have different jobs. The social security numbers would be fucking insane. It'd be like da 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 A. They'd have to add numbers, or letters rather. They'd have to add letters to the social security numbers for clones. You know what I'm saying? That way, they could accumulate credit, and and be recognized by the social security, and have be able to collect on taxes and shit. Tax season is gonna be fucking amazing for me. Um, Listen, I moved up to Washington where the minimum wage is $11 an hour, okay? And so I got a job and it was $11 an hour, okay? And I worked there that tax year, I worked there for 2 months. October 31st doesn't count, that's when I started. I worked there for 2 months. That and my Dollar General bullshitty job. Sorry, Pat. That and my netted me $1,800. I got $1,800 for that work year from my taxes. Well, now I work for $14.75 an hour. So my tax season's gonna be fucking sweet. I'm gonna buy myself some nerd shit that I could not afford otherwise. I will make people judge me by my purchases. I'm gonna get all the Critical Role shirts. I'm gonna find somebody who's selling their limited edition copy of the Comic Con or the Critical Role Origins comic for an upsale, and I'm gonna buy it. It's also like pre-Comic Con, so gonna get myself some sweet shit. I will buy all of the autographs and photo opportunities. Ah, Jesus. I'm just excited. It's an exciting time to be alive. If you ignore everything else that's going on, which I don't want to talk about because it's depressing. Um, I acknowledge that it's happening and it's awful, and I also choose not to engage with it in this sphere because it's I do this to escape from that, and I don't want it to mingle. Which is not to say, um, so I I don't get to watch Critical Role live because of my job, which is fine. I mean, winter's coming, so I might actually be able to, on some Thursdays, actually watch live, which means that I'll be able to, participate in the giveaways. That's not the part that I miss most, but it is kind of a fucking bummer. Um, but in the last episode, at the top of the episode, right before they hit the opening credits, Matthew Mercer said something, and the internet fucking exploded at him, I guess. And was like, "How dare you politicize this show?" And I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Steam, what are you doing? I want to play this game that somebody gave me. Figure it out, will you?" They were like, "How dare you politicize this thing that I come to for fun?" And I'm like, "It's not your show. the show doesn't belong to the critters. Like, we like it. We have attached ourselves to it. But it in fact does not belong to us. It in fact belongs to the people who are in it, right? And they can say whatever the fuck they want. Now, obviously free speech protects you from consequences from the government, not from your fellow man. But I mean, listen, he came out in support of someone who did something very brave in a sphere where that kind of action is frequently met with death threats. And his support is not for other people to judge. And yeah, but I don't want to talk about it. I just don't want to give the impression that I'm above politicizing. There is no such thing as not politicizing. If you have opinions, nothing exists in a sphere separate from everything else, right? Even like ice hockey and like I'm trying to think of something that is so far removed from ice hockey that they could not possibly be connected. It's not ice hockey and My Little Pony. I guarantee you there's an ice hockey player in My Little Pony, okay? So like there's nothing that exists in its own sphere separate from everything else. Everything informs on everything else in some way, be it, either directly or tertially, somewhere down the line it affects something else. So the current political sphere 100% affects everything else. It's the truth of the universe. We are all affecting each other by existing. Man, okay, so like my computer is not up to the task. I direct you to the title of this particular stream, which is, of course, that I embody the definition of insanity, which is repeating the same course of action and expecting different results. This is like the 5th time that I've tried to stream since I came back to Twitch, and nothing has happened. It's beautiful and annoying. But it is what it is. But anyway, so that's my life right at this moment. But again, I will be splitting my savings from this moment hence between my boyfriend, that's my computer, and Comic-Con, right? So boyfriend, Comic-Con. Now the sound card is only gonna be like $200 and something. It's like around $200 because I think the last time I checked it, the actual component was being sold for like $150 plus tax plus shipping and handling. And then the hard drives, actually I haven't looked at the hard drives. I haven't looked at how much a hard drive will cost, but I do want them to be spacious. My current one is 2 terabytes. I'm comfortable with that. I would be more comfortable with 6 terabytes. Or whatever the next, I want space. I accumulate a lot of shit, and I have copies of everything. I need to go down and pare through all of my shit, but the thing is that I write a lot. And I will have, oh, here's the original one that I started working on, and then I loaded it all into the cloud. Well, I've been working on everything in the cloud since then, except occasionally I'll go back to the original and I'll write something in there. And so I'll compare the 2 files, and it'll be like, oh, this one has like 373. That's a very inaccurate description. All of my files are longer than 373 words, but whatever, doesn't matter. So this one will have 373 words, and this one will have 304. And I have to figure out what the difference is before I can delete one. Okay? It's a time-consuming process. Also, last night, I started on my project of subtitling my Tomb of Annihilation recordings so that, I could throw those on the internet, and it's like, it's very basic! Okay, there will not be animation because I can't draw. And I don't mean like, oh, I could do stick figures, but I'm not satisfied with stick figures, okay? I would want at the very basic. I would want at the very least to be on the same level as the people who animate the Critical Role things, which is basically just stick figures with a head that's recognizable as the character. But still, I would want to be able to do that, and I cannot. Every once in a while, my hand will, and I'm sure that if I dedicated my time and attention to drawing, I would be able to do so. But I, again, have way too many interests. I knit, I crochet, I cross stitch. I also write and edit videos and stream on Twitch and play video games and watch movies and hang with my friends and do D&D on Saturdays and I do this on Sundays and an, it's a lot. It's just a lot. So yeah. But I started doing that. And I think I started at about 6 o'clock yesterday. I have subtitled 3 minutes. Now, I knew it would be an enormous undertaking. I'm not like bemoaning how long it's taking to subtitle. I knew that it would take for fucking ever. I knew that it would take like weeks of dedicated time to subtitle one recording. And I've edited it, but very slightly. Like there are long pauses of silence, and I am absolutely including the pre session chit chat because we're fucking hilarious people when we're all together. Okay, um, I knew it would be a severe undertaking, so but and some people were a little less helpful than others because I wanted it to be color coded so that everybody would know who was talking when they looked at the screen because it literally is just colored subtitles, color coded subtitles, and like everybody has